Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a really fascinating journey into a chapter of television history, one that pretty much cemented an iconic series as a cultural phenomenon. We're talking about the mysteries, the profound character shifts, and the impact of Season 4 of The X-Files.
A huge season.
Exactly. And our sources for this are, well, they're a treasure trove, packed with insights into the plots, the production, the reception, all that good stuff.
Right. So our mission today, really, is to figure out why. Why this particular season wasn't just another year for Moulder and Scully.
Yeah.
Why was it so pivotal, record-breaking, even debated? How did it change the show's path?
And for you, the listener, who values getting knowledge quickly but, thoroughly, our aim is to find those aha moments, the surprising connections, the deeper meanings hiding just beneath the surface.
Definitely.
So as we get ready to unpack this really complex season, what initial thoughts jump out to you? Let's dive in.
All right. The landscape of Season 4, a groundbreaking year.
Okay, so let's really set the stage here. Season 4, 24 episodes, quite a lot. It originally aired on Fox, starting October 4th, 1996, ran all the way through to May 18, 1997.
Long run.
Yeah, and this wasn't just, another strong season. This was the season that really shifted The X-Files, moved it from being this beloved cult hit into, well, a genuine mainstream success.
Absolutely. And it set the stage, immediately for the first movie.
Right, which is kind of a big deal, expanding the universe like that in network TV, especially back then.
It really was. And what's fascinating, if you look at the timing, the season wraps and they go straight into making the movie.
Which then came out after Season 5, right?
Exactly. That chronological jump, it seems a bit weird maybe, but it tells you everything about the momentum Season 4 generated.
Okay.
The network, Chris Carter, they saw this huge wave building, this cultural impact, and they decided, right, let's capitalize, let's get this movie fast-tracked.
So Season 4 was basically the launch pad for the movie franchise.
Pretty much. It proved the show wasn't just a TV thing anymore. It was bigger. It had global legs ready for the cinema. Fox really believed in it then.
And narratively, the season digs deep into Moulder and Scully investigating the alien conspiracy, the syndicate pulling strings.
The usual suspects.
Right. But what felt different this season was how personal the stakes got. It wasn't just about finding aliens anymore.
No, it hit them directly. Their lives, their beliefs, even who they fundamentally were. The consequences became devastatingly real.
Which brings us to maybe the biggest narrative swing.
Scully's cancer.
Yep.
Mid-season. And directly linked to her abduction from Season 2.
That wasn't just a plot twist to create drama, was it?
Not at all. I mean, it was dramatic, obviously, but it was profound character development. It hit audiences hard because it felt so personal, so real.
And it changed the Moulder-Scully dynamic fundamentally.
Absolutely. Moulder, the ultimate believer, starts questioning everything, losing faith in the very things he'd built his life around.
Because the aliens might have caused this terrible thing to Scully.
Exactly. And the writers, Carter specifically, used this incredibly bold, almost risky storyline to tackle some heavy themes.
Like
faith versus science, the realities of healthcare, the paranormal crashing into human suffering. It grounded all the sci-fi stuff in something incredibly raw and relatable. Human vulnerability, the limits of what we know.
And the audience responded. The numbers. They tell a story, too, right?
Oh, absolutely. The season kicked off with really high viewing figures. It wasn't just holding steady, it was growing.
And it ended up ranked 12th overall for the 96-97 season.
Yeah, 12th most watched show in the U.S., averaging, 19.2 million viewers per episode?
Which at the time made it the highest rated season of The X-Files ever.
By far. It was breaking its own records. It showed it wasn't just niche anymore, it was competing with the big network hitters.
And then there was that one episode, Leonard Betts.
Ah, yes, the Super Bowl bump.
A massive bump, 29.1 million viewers.
Just colossal. And that wasn't an accident. Fox chose it to run after Super Bowl XXI.
Showing huge confidence in the show's broad appeal.
Totally. It proved a serialized sci-fi drama could pull in that kind of massive, diverse audience. It's still, I believe, the highest rated episode of the entire series.
Wow. That really puts it in perspective. A cultural phenomenon moment.
Definitely. It showed genre TV could absolutely dominate if the quality was there. 2. Narrative twists and character-defining moments.
Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts, the plot twists and character moments that really made Season 4 tick.
Yeah.
Right from the first episode, things felt different. Big changes to the mythology immediately.
Yeah, no easing back in. They threw you right into it, like writing out X.
Moulder's informant. That happened in the premiere, Herrenvolk.
Yep. A really dramatic death scene. He gets shot, but manages to pass on a name.
Rita Covarrubias, special representative to the Secretary General of the UN. Sounds important.
It was a deliberate choice. Chris Carter actually said he wanted Moulder's next contact to be female, specifically to create some suspicion, romantic tension, possibly.
Interesting. Adding another layer to Moulder's world, beyond just the conspiracy.
Exactly. A human complication. And it made you wonder about her motives, too.
And also in Herrenvolk. The killer bees seemed kind of random at the time.
A bit, but it wasn't just a creepy one-off. It was a seed planted for the movie.
The 1998 film.
Right.
Those bees became a much bigger threat.
It shows that long-term planning, those little breadcrumbs they left for viewers paying close attention, really rewarding stuff.
Which connects back to the bigger picture, like Scully's cancer. You mentioned it was debated among the writers.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, Carter first thought about giving it to Scully's mother.
Less direct.
Right. But he shifted it to Scully herself because he felt it was a stronger platform to discuss faith, science, healthcare, the paranormal hitting home.
But some writers felt it was too melodramatic, a cheap TV thing.
Some did, yeah. They worried it might undermine the show's sci-fi cred. But others, like Frank Spotnitz, argued it was almost necessary.
Necessary how?
Because the show had already established this link between abduction and cancer and other characters, to not have Scully face that risk, given her abduction, Spotnitz felt it would be dodging the story's own logic.
So that internal debate really shows how complex these creative choices were. They were pushing their own boundaries constantly.
Absolutely. And the conspiracy itself got way more complicated in season 4, the syndicate hunting for a leak.
Using Moulder's mom as bait. That's cold.
Extremely. And that's what led to X getting caught and killed, which brought Marita into the picture.
And Moulder's trip to Russia. Tunguska? That sounded rough.
Incredibly dangerous. He ends up being experimented on with the black oil vaccine.
Whoa.
Yeah. And while he's tracked there, in basically a gulag, he finds out Krycek is working with the Russians.
Alex Kreis again. Always causing trouble. Just layers upon layers of betrayal.
Makes the world feel incredibly treacherous, doesn't it? And this whole period, Scully's diagnosis, it pushed Moulder right to the edge.
Considering a deal with the syndicate, the people he hates most.
For Scully's sake, yeah. It's a huge moment of vulnerability for him. Shows how desperate he was.
But he didn't actually make the deal, did he?
No. And this is where Skinner steps up. Assistant director Skinner.
The boss.
He secretly makes the deal instead of Moulder, without Moulder knowing.
Wow. Sacrificing his own integrity, potentially his career.
Exactly. For both of them. It just shows the depth of his loyalty, the strength of that little circle of trust they had, more than just colleagues.
And Moulder's own desperation? Faking his own suicide? That's extreme.
Totally audacious. He's being hunted by this assassin tied to a fake alien body.
Part of the syndicate's cover-up.
Right. So Moulder kills the assassin, mutilates his face to make it look like his body, and fakes his death.
Just wow. Also, he could go underground.
And infiltrate the Pentagon, yeah. Still desperately searching for that cure for Scully.
And while he's dead, Scully's still working.
Oh, yeah. She's uncovering a syndicate connection inside the FBI. A mole.
So the danger was coming from everywhere. Professionally, personally. The stakes were just sky high.
Couldn't get much higher, really. Non-stop tension. 3. The art and craft behind the scenes.
Okay, so beyond the wild plots and the character drama, Season 4 was also just a massive undertaking behind the scenes, right? I mean, the craft involved.
Immense. Chris Carter himself called it maybe the most intense and difficult season of the show.
When the creator says that.
You know, it was tough. Part of it was the complex stories like Scully's illness, but also, remember Glenn Morgan and James Wong?
The writers who left after Season 2.
They came back for Season 4, which was huge because they had such a distinct style.
But they had conditions, didn't they?
They did. A bit unusual. They'd only write 4 episodes, and only if they could cast actors from their own show that had just been canceled, Space, Above and Beyond.
And Carter agreed.
He did,
Right.
which shows how much he valued their talent, their unique voice. He knew they'd bring something special back. It speaks to the creative freedom they had.
And the actual making of the show, the physical production, sounds like that ramped up too.
Big time. Especially the season finale, Gethsemane. That had one of the most expensive, most elaborate sets they ever built.
What was it?
An entire ice cavern built inside a warehouse.
Seriously, how big are we talking?
Massive. Truckloads of lumber for the structure, and then get this, 10,000 square feet of styrofoam sculpted to look like ice.
That's insane for a weekly TV show.
Incredible dedication to creating a believable, immersive world.
And they kept it cold too, right?
Oh, yeah. The warehouse itself was already cold storage, but they kept the set at -21 Fahrenheit. That's -29 Celsius.
Why is it so cold? Just for effect.
Partly, but mostly practical. It maintained the real snow and ice they used on the set, and crucially, it made the actors' breath fog up on camera.
For realism. That detail makes a difference.
It really does. Adds so much atmosphere. And apparently the outdoor scenes for that episode filmed up on Mount Seymour near Vancouver.
Probably freezing cold, too.
Absolutely. Blizzards, wind, snow. The weather was so bad they needed an extra day just to get the shots.
Just relentless commitment to detail. Brings it all to life for you watching at home.
Definitely. And the team making all this happen was huge. Carter, as showrunner, wrote 8 episodes himself.
8? Well, running the whole show.
Wow. Howard Gordon wrote 5. Frank Spotnitz co-wrote 7. He was really involved in the mythology stuff. Vince Gilligan wrote 5.
Gilligan, who later did Breaking Bad.
That's the one. Plus, Morgan and Wong came back for their 4. John Chabon wrote 4. David Greenwalt joined and did 1. Just a powerhouse writing room.
And the directors. Consistency there, too.
Very much so. Rob Bowman and Kim Manners were the main producing directors. Manners did 8 episodes. Bowman did 7.
So they really set the visual tone.
They were crucial for that consistent look and feel. R.W. Goodwin, another executive producer, directed the premiere and the finale, Herrenvolk and Gethsemane, bookending the season.
Nice touch.
Yeah. And then a few others directed 1 or 2 episodes each, like James Charleston, Tucker Gates, even James Wong directed one of the ones he wrote.
So a mix of trusted hands and some fresh perspectives. Kept things sharp.
Exactly. That combination was key to the quality control, keeping that cinematic feel week after week. 4. Reception, ratings, and lasting legacy.
Okay, so let's talk impact. Season 4 clearly made waves. We mentioned the ratings kickoff. Herrenvolk pulling in over 21 million viewers.
Yeah, breaking that 20 million barrier for the first time. Huge signal the show had arrived in the mainstream.
And while maybe not every episode hit that high again.
No, things settled a bit, which is normal, but then you had Leonard Betts after the Super Bowl.
Right, the nearly 30 million viewer outlier. Just astronomical.
Which brought the season average up to that 19.2 million, highest rated season they'd had. Ranked 12th overall for the year. It was absolutely at its peak cultural relevance. Everyone seemed to be watching.
And the critics, were they on board?
Largely positive, yeah. Though, some felt maybe it wasn't quite as perfect as maybe season 3. The mythology was getting complex.
I remember seeing a quote calling it, always fascinating even when it's frustrating.
Yeah, from the Contra Costa times. That kind of sums it up, doesn't it? The ambition was huge, sometimes maybe a little tangled.
And didn't another paper call the Fox Sunday lineup with X-Files the real must-see TV?
His Sacramento Bee, a direct shot at NBC's slogan, shows you how much buzz the show had, how it was seen as pushing network boundaries.
So what was the frustrating part for some critics? The complexity.
Partly that, yeah. Zach Hanlon at the AV Club had a good take. He loved the standalone episodes, the Monster of the Week ones, for their depth.
Exploring big ideas.
Exactly. Existentialism, social commentary. But he felt some mythology episodes, especially the finale, started feeling a bit repetitive. Like maybe the conspiracy was spinning its wheels a little.
That's a fair point. Hard to sustain that intricate plot year after year.
It is. But even Hanlon would admit, specific episodes were just brilliant. Home. Notoriously graphic, but critically lauded.
Oh, I remember Home. It still gives me chills.
Right. And Unruh, Musings of a Cigarette-Smoking Man, Paper Hearts, Small Potatoes. These standalones got perfect scores from critics.
So the Monster of the Week format was still incredibly strong.
Absolutely. And Memento Mori, the episode really digging into Scully's cancer. Critics called it a definitive example of the Mulder-Scully bond. The emotional core was still powerful.
But not every experiment landed.
Right.
Some episodes got panned.
Yeah, it happens in a long season. And Mundo Gira, the one about the chupacabra-like creature, it got slammed for relying on stereotypes, called unambitious and even rubbish.
Ouch.
And unrequited about the invisible veteran. Some felt the message kind of overwhelmed the story itself.
So a definite range. They took risks. Some paid off better than others.
Exactly. Which brings us to the finale, Gethsemane. You said it caused a media firestorm.
Huge. Because of that cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Is Moulder dead?
Right. And it wasn't just fan forums buzzing. We're talking articles in the Wall Street Journal, a cartoon in The New Yorker.
Yeah.
All about Moulder's possible death.
That's incredible mainstream attention for a TV show ending.
Unprecedented almost. Carter later admitted the whole thing revolved around a hoax within the plot.
A fake out.
Yeah, but he insisted it wasn't just a trick. There were still major revelations about the mythology. It was designed to make you question everything.
And critics seem to appreciate the boldness. UJO Networks called it one of TV's best season finales.
They did. Said it rocked the core of the series' entire mythology. It fundamentally shifted things, or seemed to. That kind of impact is rare.
And the awards recognition followed suit, right? Emmys.
12 Emmy nominations and 3 wins. Gillian Anderson finally won Outstanding Lead Actress.
Well-deserved after being nominated before.
Definitely. And wins for art direction for Memento Mori and sound editing for Tempest Fugit, recognizing the incredible craft.
And the show itself got nominated for drama series again.
3rd year in a row. Plus, David Duchovny got his first lead actor nomination. Finally.
About time.
Right. And nominations for directing for James Wong, for writing for the Memento Mori team, just across the board recognition.
Golden Globes, too.
2nd win for Best Television Series Drama. And Anderson and Duchovny both won their acting categories at the Globes that year. A clean sweep.
Wow. So, critically, commercially, awards-wise, Season 4 was just a peak moment.
An absolute high point. Solidified its place as truly prestigious television, not just popular sci-fi. The deep dive continues. DVD release and beyond.
So, for fans wanting to relive all this, or maybe catch up later, the Season 4 DVD set sounds like it was pretty comprehensive. Released back in 2001.
Oh yeah, November 13, 2001, a 7-disc set, all 24 episodes. But it was way more than just the episodes.
What else did it include?
A whole documentary called The Truth About Season 4. Really good behind-the-scenes stuff, insights from the crew.
Nice. Getting the inside story.
And interviews on specific episodes. Chris Carter talking about Heron Volk and Tunguska, Vince Gilligan on Unruh, Paper Heart, Small Potatoes, James Wong on Home.
So you get the creators' perspectives directly.
Exactly. Hearing why they made certain choices, what the thinking was. Invaluable for fans trying to understand the process.
Were there commentaries, too?
Yep. Audio commentaries on Memento Mori with Frank Spotnitz.
Great insight into the mythology and Scully's arc there.
For sure. And Vince Gilligan doing commentary on Small Potatoes. Plus, lots of little extras.
Like what?
8 special effects clips showing how they did some of the visual magic. 9 deleted scenes.
Ooh, deleted scenes are always fascinating. What might have been?
Right. Glimpses of alternative takes or cut subplots. And 13 behind-the-truth FX spots, again, showing off the visual effects work.
So it wasn't just dumping the episodes on disc. It was like a whole educational package.
Totally. A real toolkit for anyone wanting to dig deeper into how this incredibly complex season was actually made. A real gift for the fans. Conclusion. So, wrapping this all up, what's the takeaway on Season 4? I mean, it was clearly a time of huge ambition, big creative risks.
Definitely not playing it safe.
No. It challenged its characters profoundly, deepened the mythology almost to a breaking point sometimes, and really pushed what network TV could do with serialized storytelling.
It felt like a season of major evolution. X is gone, Marita's in, and then the huge weight of Scully's cancer.
Which tied her, the skeptic, directly and personally to the conspiracy. That whole faith versus science struggle became incredibly visceral for her and for the audience.
And as we saw, it smashed ratings records, got rave reviews, won awards. It proved the show wasn't just a fad. It had real staying power and cultural weight.
That success paved the way for the movie. It managed to balance the big mythology arcs with those fantastic standalone episodes. That balance was key, I think.
Kept things fresh, offered different kinds of stories.
Exactly. And it's just a testament to the whole team. Maintaining that high quality, exploring darker, tougher themes.
The production details, the dedication, the performances.
Duchovny and Anderson were just superb. It all came together to make Season 4 more than just another season. It was a truly defining chapter.
So this deep dive really shows it wasn't just about aliens and conspiracies, was it?
Not at all. It was about how humans react to the unknown, how faith holds up against doubt.
And ultimately, that incredible bond between Moulder and Scully, facing this increasingly dangerous world together.
Yeah. It asked us, maybe more than ever, not just to believe, but to question. Question everything.
Outro. So as we finish exploring the X-Files Season 4, here's a thought to leave you with. If even within this carefully built fictional world, truths can be hidden, and major events turn out to be elaborate hoaxes, how does that make us think about the narratives we encounter every day in the real world? Our own willingness to believe, or maybe our need to question.
It's a great point. It kind of encourages you to look critically at what's presented as fact, doesn't it? To stay open to different viewpoints, different interpretations.
Just like Moulder and Scully had to, constantly, even when their own beliefs got shaken up.
Exactly. Keep that critical lens sharp.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep digging for those truths, however hidden they might be.